All right, I had to start over. Dadgummit, I hate that when a phone call comes in and it kills my whole video. Anyway, I'll start over. A lot of things to say. I want to go into a video that I saw yesterday morning. Very important. And it's the name of the video, it's from Avi Yemeni. Avi Yemeni is a Rebel News reporter out of Canada. Rebel News is from Canada. Avi is based in Australia. Avi's been on the pretty much the front lines of the COVID war, the Antifa war, and now, because he was born and raised in Israel, him and his whole entire family, part of the military in Israel. Every person that's born in Israel are made to go to the military. That you would too if 6 million of your men, women, and children were murdered in ovens by the Nazis. So a lot of people don't understand the conflict. They don't understand Palestine. Now, you see all the protests and a lot of the people that are on the side of the Palestinians, it's compassion. I understand, and a lot of people that are on my channel support the Palestinians, and it's out of compassion, and I totally understand that. I just think a lot of people are not educated on what is happening with the Palestinians. You don't know that has never been the property that Israel occupies and in Gaza didn't belong to the Palestinians at any time. Do you understand that? It's never been their land. So when they say from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free, well, that means that Palestinians are calling for the elimination of Israelis. People don't understand that. People also think that, there's a genocide and Israel's trying to kill all the Palestinians, and not true. They also say that, I lost my train of thought. Oh my gosh, I'm under a lot of stress. Anyway, I'll go back to my point. So yesterday morning, I'll share the video. Avi Yemeni, who's been all over the world, based out of Australia for Rebel News. Slow down, chick, you'll hurt somebody. Him and his brother go back home to Israel. And his brother is a former liberal in the sense of a classic liberal, except his brother hated Donald Trump, didn't understand the dichotomy of what's going on. Of course he's a Jew, of course he's an Israeli citizen, and of course he understands the factual basis of Israel and the geopolitical things that are going on. Qatar. Now ask yourself, how are these protests popping up all over the world for free Palestine? How is that popping up all over the world? It's too organized to be random. Why? Because it's not random, it's organized. The country known as Qatar, or Qatar, they are funding all the Palestinian, all of it. They're funding all the rallies. They're funding all the protests. They're funding a lot, may I say a lot, of the violence. Now, Iran's the #1 state sponsor of violence against Israel. They are the only ones on Iran's saying complete annihilation of the Jews. Iran saying death to America. This is what they say. They cheer it. Thousands of millions in the streets are cheering it every day. The Palestinians do too. That's what you don't understand. Now, when the North and the South in America fought over the North's encroachment on the South, stealing all their labor, stealing all their money, stealing all their land, stealing everything they produced, it was a war. What the Yankees did to the prisoners in the prison camps was horrendous, and even today some of the worst atrocities known to man. But you didn't say there was a genocide happening. Why? Because war is bad. War sucks. People die. Innocent people die in war. So you can't say, oh, Israel's genocide, they want to kill them all. No, they want to kill all the terrorists, because every single day there are missiles coming over the wall. Every single day there are bombings. Every single day there's stabbings. Every single day someone in Israel's murdered by Hamas, whose main goal on earth is to wipe Israel off the map. When you're born in a country where every day you wake up, you've got bombs thrown at you, or knife attacks, or you've got missiles flying at you, the animosity in you, because you are born and raised to defend and protect your country. Out of all the people in Israel, of course there's going to be a certain sect of that population that does violence that they should not do. But war in itself sucks. So all the people that are saying, oh, the poor Palestinian people, you have to understand, Hamas was elected and put into power by the Palestinian people. This is another thing I don't think that Americans understand. Did you know that Israel has about a half Arab population? Inside of Israel, Palestinians actually live inside of Israel, and they all homogenize together. Some of the largest Christians, Jews, and Muslim populations on the planet are right there inside of Israel, and they cohabitate together. You can go to Israel right now, and you can see the Islamic parts. You can see it, all of it right together. They're amongst each other every day, and relatively, the people that live in Israel, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims, Arabs, live in peace in Israel. Israel actually has elections. They actually vote for their members. There are gay parades in Israel. I think that's one reason that God's wrath is still upon them. But Israel is the only democratically elected country in the Middle East. You understand? They're the only country in the Middle East where gays aren't thrown off buildings. They're the only country in the Middle East where gays aren't murdered in the streets. People don't understand that. They think, oh, Israel's this and Israel's that. Oh, look at the bad guys. Listen, on October 7th, when they come over the wall, was Netanyahu probably helped arrange it? I'm sure he did. This is the end of this is the New World Order. This is what evil men do. The same thing is happening in America today. Our rulers are setting us up to be destroyed so the globalists can take over. Did that happen in Israel? Absolutely. You can't blame the Israeli people for it. You have to understand, it's 350 some days, I think 353 days since last year, October 7th, when the terrorist attack happened, where they put babies into ovens and then raped the mothers as the mothers were standing there watching their babies cook in the ovens. They chopped the heads off men, women, and children. Some of the worst things in the world that you can imagine happened on October 7th. There are still, I think, 250 Jews that are still in Hamas prisons, being hidden underground. Israel doesn't just, oh, we're just going to go bomb, we're going to bomb hospitals, we're going to bomb the schools. No, Hamas has tunnels, and they actually base their camps underneath the hospitals and underneath the prisons. And the way that you can equate it to know that I'm telling you the truth is, look at the media in America and see how corrupt the media is. The media lies about every single thing. Why? Because evil media in America. How is it so evil? Because Satan is the god of the power of the air. Satan controls communication. Evil controls the communication. If the Republican Party, which stands for, I don't want to say the Republican Party, but conservatives on the right-hand branch of the United States, stand for that we stand for life and liberty in pursuit of happiness, freedom. But see, we don't know how to market it. I do. I can tell you all day long, but they don't know how to market it. So they get outshined. That's why 6 people own all the media in the whole world. You're going to get nauseous. So, when Hamas says, look, the poor Palestinians are murdered by Israel. Israel bombed the hospitals and killed all these children. Well, they don't say, well, you know, Hamas had 250 of their troops inside the hospital. They don't say that. When you got, these are strategic bombings. Are they bombing? Does it look like a war zone? Yeah, because it's a war zone. Bad things happen. But I'll speed this up because I know I got to get off here soon. I'll share the video. Avi Yemeni, Rebel News. Him and his brother go back. And you have to understand that the most holy place in Israel is controlled by Muslims. Muhammad built the Dome with a Rock on top of the most holy place in Jewish history and in Christendom. Muhammad, who murdered millions, men, women, and children that refused to turn to Islam. They put their greatest historical element right on top. Right there at King David. You remember David from the Bible, King David? He built the whole city, this big, huge, I mean, the walls and the streets are still there. Palestine wasn't a place, it was a people. Jesus walked those streets. The Jewish people who were here from the very, very beginning of time have walked the streets there for 3,000 to 4,000 years. It never belonged to the Palestinians. The only way the Palestinians had any claim to some of the land is because of wars. A little conquering here, a little conquering there, and they conquer back and forth. That's what happens. Just like in America with the American Indians. The Navajo killed the Sioux, and the Sioux killed the Cherokee, and it did blah, 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 blah. Now the white folks have it. Well, no, I would say that, but now the left has conquered America. Communists have conquered America. I'm going to share I'll share the link, and I want you to watch the whole video. It's like 52 minutes long. It's a long video, but you'll understand. The Jews can't even go on their own worship site. The worship site for the Jews, their most holy of holy place, the actual place where they say that God was in the temple, it's in the Bible, is owned by Muslims. Is owned by Muslims. And Muslims, they are so sensitive that, and the little forces of good and evil are so strong there that a least little camera or a microphone on a shirt could set off a regional war. So the Muslims own it, and they put Jordanians in charge of the security there. So on the Israeli side, you can walk freely and enjoy each other. You still have to be very careful, and you're not allowed to, in the holy place for the Muslims, you're not allowed to pray. You're not allowed to, there's strict rules, metal detectors for the Jews to go through. But on the Jewish side, anybody can just walk in. Instantly, they can be kidnapped and put into prison. The Jews can be kidnapped and put into prison if they violate any of the laws on the Muslim side. You don't understand the geopolitical anger and the hate for the Jews. And whatever you think about Palestine, please do your research. But when you watch this video, and you'll see where Avi and his older brother, you can see the fear in his older brother's eyes, because he has been so blind to the blight of the evil coming from the left, not the Democratic Party there, but from the evil that owns and runs this world. And his brother's just now awakened to what's happening. But in the video, you can see when they're approached, they're just simply doing a simple vlog. And his brother doesn't understand. Avi's brother doesn't understand. You can't say I'm a journalist. And he says, oh, he's a journalist. He's a journalist. You know, we have the right to do this because we're journalists. And now Avi's like, no, don't say that, because we can't be journalists at our most holy place. We're not allowed to do that, because it could set off, it could make these Muslims, the least little thing will set a Muslim off, and it will chop your heads off. We're going to see more and more of it every day. There are thousands of stabbings in America already because of Muslims. It's happening every day, more and more every day, because we're importing millions and millions more every single day. You just plainly do not understand. When you see the video, you see the fear in Avi Yemeni's brother. And you'll hear them go through the history of what Israel is. I just beg of you, I don't understand why God says, you bless my people. Besides, it's God's people. The Jews are God's people. The Bible says, those who bless my people will be blessed. So when God commands you to bless these people, no matter what, that's what you do. You bless them. It's no questions asked. When God says bless them, you bless them. You sure don't say, go Palestine, from the river to the sea, because it sounds cool, it's catchy. Oh, the poor kids in Palestine. What about the poor Israeli babies that were slaughtered? What about those? Israel is the only place in the Middle East where you and I can go without the threat of being murdered and kidnapped and held for ransom. Israel is the only place in the Middle East. And you got outside countries like Qatar that have called for the death of Israel. And we're talking about oil money, and they're sponsoring these protests all over the globe. The world hates Jews. Why? Because it's prophesied in the Bible. If you haven't studied Islam, I suggest that you do, and I can give you some references for people that can explain it for you. But Muhammad heard from a devil, the devil, heard from Lucifer, who came dressed as an angel, gave him the Quran, and the Quran says you can strike your wife, you must murder the infidel, cut the head off of the one who refuses to convert, murder them, slaughter them, conquer them, lie every chance as long as you're promoting Islam, be friends with them until you have a chance to murder them. This is Islam. Islam was created by the devil. It is the fastest growing religion in the world. More people in the world today are named Muhammad than any other name. Why? Because it's the religion of peace. Well, if your God tells you to lie, you got an evil God. If your God tells you to murder, you got an evil God. That's the thing about Jesus in Christianity. It says to have heaven is to die for Jesus. Sacrifice your own life. Love your neighbor. And it's so hard, and I lost my cool yesterday because I'm so incredibly tired. I am in such immense pain every day, and there's so many things that's going on in my life that I don't show anyone. I've just had to learn to just take it in, and I can't talk about things. And I still tell more about my life than anyone else does. But I implore you, please watch the video and learn a little history about Israel. Learn the history before you chant something like Palestine from the river to the sea. Learn your history, because it's great that you have compassion, but you have to understand, Palestinians voted for Hamas. They voted for them. They have kept them in power. They're not in fear of the great bad terrorists. They're not. They voted for them. Did you know that the majority of Muslims in the world, even the good Muslims, which there is no such thing as a good Muslim, the majority of all Muslims in the world refuse to denounce terrorism in the name of Allah. They refuse to announce the murder of innocent people in the world for the spreading of Islam. They refuse to denounce the violence. The majority of Muslims. That's what you don't understand. They are told since birth that if you die for Islam, Not that you sacrifice your life, but if you die murdering those who are against Islam, then you will die, go to heaven, and have 72 virgins. So in other words, it is implanted in your mind that you have to be violent and you have to murder and slaughter the infidel, and when you do, you get the greatest reward of 72 Muslims. Did you know in Islam, they take little boys and dress them up like little girls? Trans ideology. Dress them up like little girls and pass them around like sex dolls and rape them repeatedly until they're wore out, and then they just kill them. Little boys that they dress up like little girls and pass them around like party favors. This is Islam. And this is what you don't understand about the Israel-Palestine conflict. Palestine has no ownership whatsoever to the Gaza Strip. None. They're not from, just because it was given back, parts of Israel was given back to them. Why was it given back to them? Because Israel fought a war to get their homeland back. That's what people don't understand. Jesus Christ walked the streets of Israel. He walked the streets. You can go to every place that Jesus was. You can read the Bible and go right there to that place today. So how did Jesus walk the streets of Israel if it was Palestine? Because the Bible would have said, Jesus walked the streets of Palestine. I'll share the video. I implore you, please get educated on what you're saying, because if you're cheering for the death of God's people, you are blaspheming God, and you're doing the exact opposite of what God says you're to do. Are we supposed to call out the wrongs of the Israelis? Absolutely. We're supposed to call out the evil in any people. But cheering for the Palestinians because they have a better news crew. Look at the news in America and tell me, who's got the best news crew? The conservatives or the left-wing media? He who controls the news controls the people. So, Avi Mini, Rebel News. I'll share the video, and I don't expect Americans to be that, I don't want to say intelligent because that's not the right word, informed. But I like to think the 5 to 7 people who watch my channel on a weekly basis, I would like to think that you trust my judgment, and that you come to me so I can explain things, at least my point of view. You don't have to agree with them, but at least listen to what my point of view is. I feel that's why you listen, if not to mock me, and you know, it's probably just to mock me. But there's so much that you don't understand, and a lot of people don't have the time to take in the information, and I get it. I don't have that much time on my hands. It's just, I'm a sponge and I soak up. I don't watch CSI Miami. I don't watch Mission Impossibles. I don't watch all these big time flicks or these sitcoms that's got a queer in every storyline. I don't do that. I'm a sponge, and I long for information. I'm replacing the Bible with all this other garbage, and if I just read the Bible, life would be much better. But pray for me, please. I'll share the link when this video posts. I'll share the link. But please research what's said before you. I can't imagine pissing God off by saying, oh yeah, his people need to be killed. God's people who wandered in the desert for 40 years because they're ignorant and they complained. God bless. Have a good day.